Hello and welcome to Beatson Cancer Charities podcast, Beatson Talks. My name is Laura Boyd and today I am delighted to be joined by Sheena Wright, a patient of the Beatson and someone who knows it very well. Sheena, how are you doing?
I'm doing remarkably well, actually. I finished my treatment, well, it's almost a year ago now, actually. The 25th of October last year was my last chemo session. And so, yeah, it's gone fast.
And well, you're looking incredible. But if you don't mind, can you take us back to the start of your involvement with the Beatson and your diagnosis? Tell me a little bit about that time.
Yeah, well, going back to pre-diagnosis, probably for about a year and a half, I had just a dull ache in my side, and there was no other symptoms. I wasn't losing weight, I wasn't off my food, it just was this dull ache. And I did go to the doctors and sort of said, and I've been on omeprazole for quite a long time because I have acid reflux. And so the doctor said, we'll need to check you for Helicobacter pylori, which I have had in the past. And but they said, you'll need to come off your omeprazole for a month. And I thought, if I miss a tablet, the acid reflux gets really bad. And so I said, he said, well, it's up to you. And I said, no, I'll leave it just now. So I left it for a year. And I suppose going back, it was partly due to the fact that my nephew was diagnosed with stomach cancer as well, and he was talking about his symptoms, and one of the symptoms was a dull ache. And I thought, right, maybe I should go back. The chances of me having cancer are highly unlikely, but I'll
you had that niggle in the back of your mind.
Get it checked out. So went back, saw another doctor. He basically said the same as the first. And again, I said, I'll leave it just now. And I think a fortnight passed and I thought, Sheena, you're being really silly. Go back and get this seen to. So I did, and I said, right, I'll come off the omeprazole. So I was told then I would get Gaviscon. So I started the Gaviscon when I came off the omeprazole, and I was taking it for a week, absolutely fine. And then the following weekend, I thought I had COVID because I got quite a bad tickly cough. And then I lost my taste and my appetite. I would stand open the fridge door hoping something was going to jump out at me to eat me. But no, I just... so I did about 4 COVID tests and they all came back negative. And I thought, So then the sort of crux was I noticed that I must have been having a bleed because my stools had turned dark. And so I phoned the doctors on the Monday morning, told him, and he said, right, I'm sending you for an urgent referral for an endoscopy. And then, so that happened. First of all, he said, do a blood test and we'll, get that checked and do your stool sample. He said, a fortnight's fine. So did all that, went on the Thursday, got my bloods done. He phoned me on the Friday to say I was anemic. And then the following week, I got an appointment for the endoscopy. And then I went for a CT scan the following week. And then I think maybe it was a couple of weeks after that, I went for a laparoscopy. So it all happened very quickly.
So you were then diagnosed?
Yes, after my endoscopy, the endoscopist my husband was with me, so she took us into a side room, and she had the
picture of the scan
up on the wall, on the screen, and she said to me, well, you've definitely got an ulcer. She said, but it's gone quite deep into the stomach wall. She said, but I think there's cancer there.
How did you feel when she said that?
I said to her, I'm not surprised, because there's actually been quite a lot of cancer, like in my family.
Right.
Like that was what my dad passed away with. My older sister passed away with it. Not the same kinds of cancer, I have to say, but you
knew you were very well aware of it.
Yes, and my sister that's next to me, my older sister, she's had it, but she's come through it.
Good.
And is well again. So yeah, I wasn't surprised. I don't know, there was maybe something deep inside me that was sort of saying, come on, get this seen to, because this could be. And of course I just turned and looked at my husband, and his bottom lip was like, trembling. And so, and it's funny because a lot of people afterwards, when I was diagnosed, said to my husband, how are you feeling about this? And he said, because Sheena's being so strong, he said it's having a knock-on effect on him. Yeah. It was making him strong. Yeah.
Well, I think we've spoken about this quite a lot in this podcast. Sometimes it's almost, you feel so bad for the people that, the people closest to you, because when you get the diagnosis, you're the one that's having to deal with it. You've got to get into that zone of treatment and things, and they almost feel helpless, don't they?
Yes.
I remember that with my mum and dad, and I remember like one point where I kind of went was when my friend, who is the most stoic person ever, and he just powers through life, and after I had been diagnosed, she was in my house and I saw her cry, and that just made me crumble, because I thought, oh no, if you're upset, it must be serious, But it's difficult for the people around you, isn't it?
But I never ever felt, why me?
Yeah.
I thought, why not me?
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I've got to, nearly 70 and not had anything seriously wrong with me in my life, whereas there's children, teenagers, young, people in their 20s, 30s. I think so. I feel very, very fortunate to have reached the age that I am. And then I was referred to the Beatson, and went in there and saw a really lovely doctor, Christina Wilson. Absolutely lovely doctor. And so she got my treatment all mapped out, and I had to come in once a fortnight to the Beatson. I think I started my first treatment in March, and then I was meant to have the 4 treatments once every fortnight, but they actually postponed my last treatment for 2 weeks because it was affecting my liver.
Right.
But I was, it was fine again after the 2 weeks, and then I got my operation on the 4th of July. And then I started my chemo again the end of August, I think it was, and finished it on the 25th of October last year.
And what kept you going through those times? Because
my family.
Your family, yeah. What did they just rally round? What did they do in particular that kept your spirits up?
I don't know. I suppose we're quite a close family anyway, My girls, they're my world. I've got 2 girls, and my grandchildren.
And they don't let you rest, do they? They're not. Their grandchildren are. Yeah, I know.
Oh, well, my granddaughter, she's a pony. And she has to be at the pony every day. So, it's a case of if mum and dad are busy, not that it happens so much now, but maybe before, I'd be running her back and forward to the stables and going out walks while she was on a hack or whatever.
Oh, very nice. That's lovely.
Yep. And my grandson, he eats, sleeps, lives football. So
they kept you busy with all of that. And what about the Beatson itself? Because when I was reading your kind of notes, you mentioned the tea lady, the hero that's, everyone loves that tea trolley, don't they?
Yeah.
What kind of things in the Beatson?
I can't remember the lady's name, but she told me she was retired, but she'd been doing this voluntary, but she was retiring from that as well. Just, I think, to spend a bit more time with her grandchildren and what have you. But she was lovely. And I don't know, just all the staff, the nurses, my oncology nurse, Mike, he was lovely, and they just made you feel, I don't know,
like a person,
a family member almost. They were just so lovely. And when I knew it was my last treatment, I actually felt really quite sad because they'd become part of my life, and to not see them again, it felt weird.
And how are you feeling? And how often do you have to go back to hospital? What's the kind of plan now?
I was given the option to go back to the Beatson, which I would have done gladly, but it meant family members taking time away from work maybe to come and get me or take me there. So I was given the option of going to Larbert to see the oncology nurse there. So I go there every 3 months because I can drive myself there. Go every 3 months to see my oncology nurse Helen there. And she's lovely too.
And is that a comfort knowing I go every 3 months as well, and I always have a slight feeling of, what if this time it's not great, but also there is a comfort in knowing you're being monitored so closely as well, I think, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. I was told that there wouldn't be any scans or anything being done unless I was showing symptoms or whatever. So it's basically, I just go there, tell her how I'm feeling, and she'll make decisions. But no, I've been feeling fine. I'm eating well, too well sometimes.
Never.
Stretch the stomach.
We were enjoying the M&S chicken poppers outside before we came in. But I think sometimes there's that thing though as well. You're suddenly like, I've been through a rough time, and so you have to enjoy every moment, don't you? And food or socialising and things like that. Life is really too short. I know it's a cliche, but it's true, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I'm just one of these people that I tend not to look ahead too far. I just get up in the morning and I tackle whatever's in front of me. So I don't look back and think, oh my goodness, how did I ever get through that? It's just part of life.
Part of your story.
Part of me, my journey. That's what I called it, my journey,
And another part of your journey, which I loved, is that at the age of, was it 70, you decided to take up the bagpipes?
No, when I retired.
Oh, when you retired, you took it?
No,
what made you
I'm
want
not quite 70
You're
yet,
not 70
this
yet.
month.
Are you having a big party?
I've had one.
You've had it? How was that?
Well, my younger daughter, she was 30 last week, and so she decided that we would have a joint party. So it was good fun.
Was that really special?
It was,
to do it together. That's lovely.
So the bagpipes. Well, I love Highland Cathedral, and it makes me quite emotional actually, but I love it. And when I retired in 2022, I had spoken about, perhaps jokingly, taking up the bagpipes. So anyway, my family paid for me to get chanter lessons with the Queen's Piper, no less.
Not just any old chanter.
I mean, he lives locally. I knew him, but they paid for lessons, and I was getting on really pretty well actually, and hadn't got to the bagpipe stage, but I can play Highland Cathedral on the chanter.
Wow.
But we had gone to our nephew's wedding in Poland in September 2022, and long story short, no drink involved, I tripped and broke my two fingers, and the result is that my pinky, it won't straighten, but I kind of lived my dream, just not the bagpipes.
Maybe one day, there's still time. There's still time.
Well,
And for anyone who's newly diagnosed, as you were, and they're having to face going in for chemo and treatment at the Beatson, and those days can be long and can be daunting. What would you say to them? Would you have any tips, anything to take in with them? I always think that's,
a good book, if you're a reader. I mean, people, I suppose, use their phones now for podcasts and listening to music.
Podcast, that's a good tip.
I did take a book and did read quite a lot, but unless I was in a room on my own, which wasn't very often, it's good to chat to the other patients. I mean, I got to know, not well, but I got to know other patients, and it's amazing actually how you share your stories with them, because you're maybe not going through the same type of cancer, but you're going through that journey. And you get some kind of, I don't know, comfort maybe.
There's sometimes something I think about talking with people who are going through it, even they are often strangers, but they can understand maybe more than people who aren't going through it. There's that kind of joy, you're in it together almost, isn't there? I think.
I mean, there's been sort of like sad outcomes as well. There was a lovely chap in the bed next to me, and his mum was there, and, got chatting to them, and she was lovely. She came up and she said to me, I'll say my prayers for you. And I said, well, I'll say my prayers for your son and you as well, because, he was actually stage 4, so I don't know how he came through, but, just meeting lovely people, and having a nice, well, maybe not a nice chat, but, chatting about
but it can be, it can be a nice chat as well. And people open up a lot when you're in there. What do you think you have taken away from your experience? I guess we said about that, maybe that kind of new zest for life. Is there anything else you've kind of come through it, and what does life look like now for you?
Yes, well, I suppose if you were to worry about things, you would never get out of your bed in the morning, as I keep saying. But I suppose I knew the Beatson was there, for cancer patients. But until I was actually physically there myself, I didn't realise, to the extent of what went on, and how they helped people. Not just helping them to, give them treatment, but helping them mentally, physically. You know, I mean, it is such a wonderful place.
Yeah.
And I get quite, I get quite emotional.
Yeah.
When I think about it. You know, even when I was in having my operation in Glasgow Royal, there was a girl called Zoe came along this day, and she said to me, "Would you like a massage?" And she said, what have you done? And I said, I've had stomach cancer, so I refer to it as my shark bite, because that's what it looks like. And she said, well, we'll not do a back massage then. She said, what about a foot massage? And of course I'm thinking, oh no, I'll be in fits.
I would be terrible.
Giggling.
Yeah.
And I said this to her, and she said, well, no, I don't think you will. She said, how about we give it a wee try? And do you know, it was the most relaxing, lovely thing that I've ever had, I think.
Wow.
Yes, I was just imagining me rolling about the bed. But
causing a scene.
It was so lovely, very relaxing.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was a lovely girl.
And that's the thing I think maybe people don't realise as well, is there are so many services on offer and things like that you can use, and there's the wellbeing centre, and you know, even after treatment there's kind of groups and things to help you as well. So you're certainly not alone when you're as you say, become part of the Beatson family, are you?
No, well, I was actually quite amazed when I was first diagnosed that I was referred to the Beatson, because I thought the Beatson was just for the Glasgow area. Yeah. Because I've known other people to have cancer and have gone to Forth Valley, which is in my area. So, I didn't realise that actually the Beatson is for the whole of Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I think even, if you had to travel a distance, it would be, it would be worth going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're lucky to have it. You're in good hands.
Yes,
when
very much so.
In the Beatson. And the 70th is coming up, and you've achieved that Highland Cathedral on those bagpipes. Is there anything else? I know you said you don't like to look too far ahead, and you live in the moment, which I think is a great way to be. But is there anything else you would like to achieve or do on that bucket list? Yeah.
Well, yes. My brother lives in Australia, and I've been over a few times. But I have cousins that live in New Zealand, and I really want to go there.
Yeah.
To visit them, because I've heard, especially the South Island, that it's, well, beautiful. My older daughter has been there, and she described it as Scotland on steroids.
I've heard that actually, yeah. And what could be better than that? So that's on the bucket list then. Brilliant. Yep. Well, listen, I hope you get there. But thank you so much for joining us. And I'm sure people who are listening will take great comfort from what you've said about the Beatson and how amazing it is. And long may you continue to stay well and stay healthy and get to New Zealand soon.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Laura.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. You've been brilliant.
You.
If you or anyone you know has been affected by cancer, then please check out beatsoncancercharity.org.